Hi everyone, so today we're going to look at securing your bike. So first thing we're going to need is a bike lock, preferably 2 bike locks, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. Secondly, we're going to always want to look for a nice secure area to lock up our bike, so that's something like a busy street, a designated bike parking or bike locking facility, and definitely always locking it to something that's immovable, okay? So like a tall lamppost, like a fence, and again like a dedicated bike parking facility. Now there are many different types of bike locks. So you have similar locks to what I have here at the moment. You also have things like D-locks, which will be kind of one solid portion and then a big long curve to wrap your frame or your wheel in around it. You might get smaller locks with wires and so forth. Unfortunately, the general rule of thumb with locks is that the more expensive, generally the more secure, okay? So if we're spending a lot of money on our bike, we should be spending a good deal on the lock that we use to keep it safe. So when we're out and about and we want to lock up our bike, there's a couple of key things we really need to keep in mind, okay? So number one is that we're always securing the frame of the bike. Number two is that we are securing the wheels of the bike as well, okay? So frame and the wheels. How we can do that is effectively by wrapping our lock around the frame and around the rear wheel, as you can see on the video here. On top of that then, the reason for our second lock is we'll usually want to secure that front wheel as well. The reason being is a lot of times we have quick releases, or the front wheels and rear wheels are very easy to get off of modern day bicycles. So they're very easy for someone to come along and just take the wheel off and leave the frame attached to where it was. So when securing your bike, there's definitely a couple of things to watch out for, okay? So making sure the object that you're securing your bike to is tall enough so people can't just take that bike frame and wheels and everything up and over and walk away with your bike lock and all. Other than that, we also want to make sure that we're not blocking any kind of pedestrian access, roadway access. So things like locking your bike to a lamppost on a busy footpath, for example, or having the bike in the way of someone pedestrian with a buggy, a wheelchair user, etc. So we always want to be mindful of that too. Lastly, we also want to make sure that we are taking away any removables, so to speak, from our bike. So definitely removing like a rear light, for example, maybe even a saddlebag, a bike computer, and so forth. Taking those things off our bikes to make sure they're not easy pickings if someone was to walk past our perfectly secure and locked bike. So wrapping up, always make sure to lock that frame of your bike in conjunction with the wheels as well. Take away any removals such as lights or bike computers or saddlebags, and just make sure to be a little bit courteous to other road users and pedestrians as well when you're choosing a location to lock up your bike.